Hello, I'm Mark Ramsey, the founder and president of Effective Project Solutions. This presentation is for you to evaluate whether this product that I created could step change your project management capability. It sure has for me when I had to manage dozens of small projects or several multi-million-dollar ones at once. Program Leader is effective for design and construction project environments that have to deal with changes, new relationships, and competition for resources. The risk for any software buyer is, of course, is the program really relevant and easy to learn? So I offer its full capabilities under a free 30-day trial just to make sure it will benefit you, your personnel, and the people in your environment. First, let's look at your project environment. You conduct business with more than a handful of business entities and resources. You go about your day discussing business with any number of them. Your drive is to make decisions and go to the next phase with implementing things. But that won't happen in a quality way unless you stay on top of all project issues. At the end of the day, you have recollections and scribbles of conversations. You will be asked general questions by management. How are things going? And have no way to express progress of these issues in a metric. A subcontractor manager will call you to discuss something on their mind, but do you have at your fingertips what you need from them? You, as a project manager, have a general need to capture the activity someplace and plan it with schedule and cost objectives, and link it to the project, work breakdown structure, performing division, and subcontractor. So, at the end of every workday, you sit down with Program Leader and let it capture the conversations in an activity-oriented manner. After you enter the activities, you run a report by clicking a button, View Activities Added or Edited a Day, to see if you've captured everything you want to. Entering activities daily will allow you to run reports that answer the basic questions, and please follow along while I run these reports. Who is behind in their work? And I'll run a metric of employees. Are all these changes going beyond my contingency budgets? And I'll run a report of project financials. What information do I need to convince management that I need their resources more committed? I'll run a supervisory report. And you are on the phone with me. Let's go over your current work program. I'll run the functional business unit report. Several days later, you will see the same people from which the activity sprung. You'd like to see how well they are progressing with actions. So I will run the Queried by Employee Responsible report. Your immediate needs. What are the decisions that need to be made? Who is behind in their work? Are all of these issues going to drain my contingency budgets? What information do I need to produce to convince management that I need their resources more committed to my projects? You are on the phone with me. Let's go over your current work program. Program Leader addresses your world. Project managers have to get decisions made daily with cost, schedule, quality, and customer satisfaction in mind. Design, build, or rush development leads to many problems. These have to be tracked and fixed expeditiously. First-time relationships with external AEs and subcontractors bring miscommunication. Issues have to be tracked and resolved expeditiously. Finally, project managers in large corporations compete for resources. You need a way to communicate effectively with your resources supervisors. This leads to Program Leader's value proposition. Provide task reports that communicate relevant and appropriate status to any level of your organization, reports, subcontractors, and your clients. 2. Do so in a way prescribed by the one-minute manager, which means that you can frame your activities depending upon the skill level of your employee, and make reports for employees and discuss with them one-on-one, summarize them, and reprint the report from Program Leader, and then you both have the same document to track the progress by. 3. Provide estimated completion of committed and contemplated change orders. 4. Track detail on manageable and Gantt-type schedule software. And 5. Require just a short learning curve. Require no user setup and require no server infrastructure or IT support. Now back to the project environment example. A few days passed since you had that business discussion. It's time now for your regular client meeting. The client will want concise reports of how you have paid attention to details. Program Leader fulfills this requirement with one of its 4-part reports. Go to the Program Leader menus, select the Client Report, select the client, sort by employee responsible, and there's your report that quickly. Print handouts, and if you can, project the report on a wall. You begin your client status meeting with a review of the view called Recently Completed Activities. This celebrates team and individual accomplishment. It sets a positive meeting tone. Then engage a discussion of corrective actions using the Late Activities view. Then lead the meeting into organizing for the next 2 weeks of work. Finally, lead the group to study the All Activities view to bring up for discussion anything missed. Efficiencies have been built in. Activities feature 2 rows of information so they fit on a page. You can edit data in any during the meeting. Let's change this due date. Completed activities are dimmed. Click on the activity ID and the activity panel appears, where you can do further edits. When you are done editing, just click Previous Window. The Days Until Due field shows the number of days remaining until the due date. This is a nice feature. Your client will be impressed. It achieves the goal of communicating to your client your attention to detail. A director of public works praised me for this format and presentation process. This was on a $15 million project that I managed. Here are more activity reports for the rest of your working world. If you have many projects with many of these people, or a few large projects that have some of these people, Program Leader can put efficiency into your project management. Now here is a rundown of the activity reports. Employee responsible. Activity report for those doing the activities from whatever organization, even the client. Project. Activities of a project. A dialog will ask you to include associated performing organization project in the report. Work breakdown element. A report of activities in a designated subset of project scope of work. And this is where I'll show an example. We go up to the Program Leader menu. Select the queried, then the WBS element. This has to select the project. I'll select CO2. This will ask if the related performing organization project should be added to the activity list. I answer yes. Now I will choose the WBS. And it's Building 101, and I'll sort it by employee responsible. And there is the report. It comes awfully quickly because this program runs entirely on your C drive. Let's look at the activity entry screen. The gray central area is where you enter data. Let's start. First, to press the Add Record button. I'll enter an activity. Put a start date in and a finish date in. An employee responsible. This these are a list of employees that you've already entered, a site, a project name, and the work breakdown structure, and a priority. That's it. The activity is entered. In the upper right hand corner, you see the names and organizations of the people that are in your world. I'll show you how they get entered. They get entered whenever a new person or project name or WBS element is presented to the program. Let's say the person that's responsible for this activity is Zorro. A button will flash saying Designate Supervisor. This will take me to another window where I enter the supervisor, which associates with Zorro, and then the supervisor's name would show up here. I'll give an example. I'll pull down the supervisor's name for Zorro. It's Brown, and Zorro works for Vince, Carter, and McElhenney. You hit enter, you come back, and you can see Brown shows up as the employee supervisor. Now, I have said that Program Leader has a financial element, and we will now enter some cost information for this activity. First, I click here, and the flip side of the activity comes up. This panel has two halves, the budget side and the committed cost side. The budget side is used for recording your high-level estimates, the risk of occurrence if the activity is a risk event, and final numbers and who approved them. The committed cost side is the movement of a related change order through your firm's purchasing system. There is logic between these entry fields to ensure consistency. For instance, committing a cost before a budget is approved will shade the cells. The report sums this data to provide you with the impact of these changes to the estimate at completion. Let's look at an example of a payee report. It shows what is committed to be paid as well as the pending work for a subcontractor. Selected payee. And here you have budgeted activities for payee Hudson. This report shows the estimate to complete impact for a particular project, a further project, CO2, and at the end of the report, the actual cost variance between committed costs and your budgeted costs. Program Leader offers metric reports for monitoring task completion. The knowledge of resource performance can be brought into your management equation with these reports. Let's take a look at a metrics report for employees responsible. For each employee responsible, the total activities due, the number due within 2 weeks, the number due farther out than 2 weeks, the total completed, and the average days completed early. This column shows how timely these employees responsible got their tasks done. The product and requirements. Program Leader is a self-contained solution that operates from your C drive. Data files can be copied onto a server where they can be accessed by Program Leader installed on other computers. It has been tested on Microsoft Windows 7, Windows XP, and Vista operating systems. Program Leader presents a dialog asking to back up data at the close of every session. The solution and data are backed up every 5th session automatically. Solution updates sent when necessary will automatically install and preserve your data. In summary, why you should try Program Leader. I think I've shown that it provides targeted reports designed to enhance interpersonal project communications. And that's what projects are all about. It informs about the components of project success. Time with the activity reports, performance with the metric reports, and cost with the number of cost reports I give you. Lastly, it is custom designed for the design and construction industry. You don't have to waste time configuring software. This has been the value proposition. I hope you have enjoyed it. Now that you have listened this far, why don't you download the product and try it? I recommend playing the videos on this website's first tutorials page as you operate it. The data that's present is for your training. When you have no need for it, read the Read Me First document found on the Downloads page for deletion instructions. Full operating instructions are downloadable from there also. I'll conclude with autobiography and operate program leader in the background and page through operating instructions that come with the product. As an undergraduate at Princeton, I got acquainted with the IBM 360. I sought out books on software engineering to ensure software I wrote was intuitively easy to operate and was rigorously tested. I received a Master's in Science recently in Technical Management from Johns Hopkins University with honors, where I learned the final touches about requirements in software management. Several years ago, I architected and wrote a solution that controls building heating and cooling equipment in 50 buildings at Penn State University Park. That $3 million solution is saving the campus millions a year in energy costs. I got an honorable mention for it in a worldwide corporate innovation competition. But many thanks go to my wife, Deborah, for her support over my untold evenings and weekends spent at this work, and the many authors of books on developing marketable software provided the skills and processes to produce a truly unique product. Thank you.